Hello everyone, this is Josh for MUTCast. It's presented by Gecko Gaming. I haven't mentioned this in a couple other podcasts, but feel free to check out I am growing a YouTube channel as well as this podcast and maybe a few others to come. So I just want to welcome you in for MUTCast. The format, as we spoke about a couple times, is going to be, we're going to talk about some main topics in the first 5 weeks of MUT, namely the launch and the promos, which was last week. This week will be game modes, next week gameplay, roster building, and power-ups and training. So these are all going to be pre-recorded. The game modes one is actually coming out on August 22nd, I believe, and it's recorded on the 21st. So that's this one is, even though it is pre-recorded, it is pretty up to date, and we'll be talking about some of the things that have come out. Obviously there are no new game modes that have come out since the promo, so essentially the ones that you got there on the day that the game launched are the ones that are there. Though there are shifts, I know Madness talked about a couple different shifts in the way solo battles work, and there was just today a patch. So we'll talk about that a little bit and how it has to do with gameplay and some other things, but mostly we'll be focusing on the game modes today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give us a 5-star review. If you can write a review as well, that would be very helpful. It really helps out the way that iTunes does the rankings, so that'd be very helpful. So we'll get right into it. In terms of the game modes, we'll be talking about the big ones we're going to touch on are the new ones this year. So namely the solo battles and the solo, I don't want to say solo squads, but the squads versus the computer. So we'll talk about those two, touch on draft, head-to-head. There's solo as well, just regular solo, not solo battles, as well as salary cap. So in terms of the solos, I'm not really going to go over those. There's plenty of videos out there in terms of what solos and solo sequences there are. Those are pretty much the same as last year and the years before. You play against the computer. Typically you have one or two or maybe a few different things you have to complete, or maybe you're just starting the game late in the fourth quarter and you have to go on a drive and win the game. But draft champions is pretty much the same. It's 20 rounds. I think late last year they changed it so that you have an automatic cornerback round, an automatic QB round, running back, and then of course the last round is the legend round. So there's some pretty good rewards in there, as well as head-to-head. But the big change this year is the solo battles. So the way that the solo battles work is there's for the players that don't want to go online or just don't have time or whatever it might be, and they really want to play the same type of style game as the weekend league, but they don't really want to deal with other people, whether it's just they want to play the computer and play with themselves or whatever it might be. This is a really great addition. I know that a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that are pretty active on the community, are head-to-head players, but I saw somewhere that 70% of the people almost entirely play solos. So they're quote-unquote these solo players, and that's a much higher percentage than I would have thought. I don't play that much head-to-head. I mostly stick to solos unless I need it for something like the MUT Master, or just to have fun once I've accomplished a lot of other things. But I'm surprised that there's not quite as many people playing head-to-head games. But this is something that has attracted a lot of people that do play head-to-head, and really put some value on being able to play it against the computer. And the one thing about these games is there's only 13 of them compared to 25 weekend league games. 25 weekend league games. is essentially impossible to finish. I think I finished maybe 1 week when I basically had the house to myself for an entire weekend. Not something that happens all the time. You're saying, first of all, you can't really have any distractions, and you yourself can't be going out to do anything on the weekend. It's kind of not really that feasible. So the great thing about this game mode, the solo battles, is there's 13 total solo battles. So you get 4 solo battle matchups on Monday and Tuesday. When you're done with those, you can refresh. Now, if you refresh on Wednesday, Thursday, you get 4 new opponents, and then you can refresh again on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But if you complete the opponents for Monday, Tuesday, and you refresh on, let's say Friday, you're going to lose the games from Wednesday, Thursday. So you really want to, you have some leeway in terms of you don't need to play the games on Monday, Tuesday. You need to log in on Monday, Tuesday to be able to get those opponents, or else you lose those 4 games. But you need to log in on Monday, Wednesday. Once you're done, down at the bottom of the screen, you need to hit refresh opponents. Only hit this when you're done, because as soon as you refresh the opponents, you lose those games. Any games you haven't played, you'll lose those games. So I definitely only hit that once you're done. You'll get the opponents for for Wednesday, Thursday, when you log in on Wednesday, Thursday. And then as soon as you're done with those opponents, even if it's Saturday afternoon, you still get the 4 over the weekend. The final game, so that's 12 games. The final game is a featured opponent. So it's someone that may have done really well. Maybe they placed first last year. Maybe they're EA Game Changer. Currently it's KK right now. So it's someone that people may know, or someone that just may have placed high or has a very high team. This featured opponent actually gives you a boost in your scoring. So that's definitely something. If you're not going to get all 13 games done, and you know that, you want to face that featured opponent. But at the same time, on Monday, Tuesday, if you're doing the featured opponent instead of doing some of the other games, the featured opponent is going to be there for the entire week. So even if you finish them Sunday afternoon, you still get access to that featured opponent. So you want to consider when you're going to have time throughout the week. I know it's tough to plan your week, and honestly, if you miss the featured opponent, I think the first 5 games I lost just in terms of forfeits for a week, and I still was able to get up to 125,000 in battle score. So I wouldn't stress about it too much. This game mode really does make it so that a lot of people can be competitive. A lot of people can spend some time. I mean, the games, they're only 3-minute quarters. And I believe there's accelerated clock on until 20 seconds. But, of course, 3-minute quarters, 4 quarters, that's going to take some time. That's at least 12 minutes running time, plus stoppages in play. So these are maybe close to 20-minute games. They're much longer than your traditional solo game. But the rewards are really good. I know for just getting, I like I mentioned, I lost those first 5 games just because of forfeit. And I was still able to get up to 125,000 in battle score. That gets you a 25 coin quick sell, a couple of Hail Mary packs, as well as a midfield pack. So that's pretty decently far down. You get 1,000 coins for winning a game in solo battles too. So you just want to factor that in. If you win all 13 games, that's 13,000 coins plus, let's say 25 or 30,000. Definitely a step up in terms of what you'd be getting in coins for a typical solo challenge. The other aspect, of course, is the packs. And so for those people that, that you don't want to spend money, you don't want to play online, this gives almost like a franchise type of feel where you're going through a season. 13 games is, almost an entire NFL season. And you really get to go through that season. You can fool around with your roster, see what it will look like. The game modes for the difficulty for these solo battles is very, very difficult in terms of solos, the way you think about it. So they have, I think there's rookie, Pro, All Pro, All Madden, and then there's like an Ultimate. And depending on which difficulty you pick, that will determine what score you get. So, you know, the Ultimate is 100% of the score. If you go down to All Madden or whatever, it's 80, 40. You know, it goes down based upon how much, you know, if you're going to a lower skill level. So I will say that there are a number of different people that have won a lot of games on lower difficulties, and they say that it is better to win no matter what. So there's a minimum win score. So for example, Ultimate is 21,600, at least it was last week. So it might be different now, but 21,600, you know, is going to get you right in that range to get, I think, gold at least, in terms of the tiers, if you win all 13 games. If you can't win all the games in Ultimate, and I'll tell you, it's pretty difficult. The computer goes man on you, or, you know, they send blitzes. It's difficult. You really have to play actual football. And, you know, I know what you're saying. Like, a lot of people just use PA crossers, and I actually saw someone did a screenshot on Reddit where they won against the computer like 105-0, 87-0, you know, 101-0. They won all 4 of their games for Monday, Tuesday. But, you know, if you take a look at the game score, they got like 25,000 for each game. And as I mentioned, so he mentioned he was on Ultimate. As I mentioned, the minimum win score is 21,600. So that may have gone down, but you're talking about 4,000 extra just from blowing the computer out by 100 points. And that must have taken a long time, you know, maybe like a half an hour. So in terms of these, you know, in terms of gaming the computer, doing that PA crossers, which a lot of people have done, you'll throw to that the inside wide receiver. I think the tight end is split out by himself on the right side, and you'll throw the inside receiver on the left side. It's going to cross over the field. A lot of people, you know, will get that for one play touchdown, especially if the ball's on the left side of the field. That really doesn't help that much in terms of, you know, what you're looking at for a battle score. So, you know, it's great to run the score up on the computer. It feels great. It's going to take a lot of time, though. It's not going to get you that many more points. So 4,000 more points, I don't know if that's the max. You know, you got 26,000 points for each game. I don't know what the max for each game is, and I'm not sure they're going to release it. I know that the way that they changed the system to, and this happened before, so he may have got hurt by, you know, running up the score in the computer. The way that they changed the system to is if you're not passing and rushing, if you're doing like one play touchdowns, whatever it is, and you're trying to trick the computer, you're not going to get that high of a score. I'm not saying that you're not going to get rewards. I'm not saying that EA is going to cheat you out of the battle score that you got, but the way that they set up the battle score is programmed in to make sure that if you're scoring all these one-play touchdowns, the computer is going to understand that whatever you're doing is just taking advantage of, you know, essentially not computer glitch, but, you know, essentially the cornerback's not reading the play the correct way, and so that's really going to hurt you. Again, it's not going to hurt you in terms of like you're not going to get any points, but, you know, you may not place in the top 100. They may kick you out of the top 100, and you may get, you know, only gold or whatever it is for the rewards, platinum, or I don't know the exact rankings, but, you know, if that's the way to get up there, if you're getting 26,000 per game and you're going to win all 13 games at the same time, if that's what you want to do, that's a great way to get, solo battles are a great way to get points for passing yards and rushing yards towards Shazier. Now, it's super hard to run, so I'm guessing that a lot of these things, if you're trying to do them, you're going to do one-play touchdowns passing, because it's super hard to run. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing too many of the one-play things, like if of course, if you got like a 3rd and 29, something like that, and you want to go for it, well, of course on 3rd down you're going to go for it, but if you need to, you may take one of those plays, but I wouldn't encourage doing it the entire game, because I don't know, for me it's not fun. I know some people out there just run 4th and 25, doesn't matter, you run PA crosses one more time. I mean, that's great, and again, that's a great way to get Ryan Shazier, and you may take him and then go online once you're done with MUT Solo. But the way that these are designed is really to be competitive for those people that don't want to go online and really want to have the same type of leaderboards experience as the Weekend League. So I think overall, like a huge success in terms of, I know they're tweaking the scoring, but in terms of the format, they came out with a salary cap a little while ago, and that was a huge success and is still around. This I think is going to stick around for a while too. I will say that the play screen has a lot of different icons now. So, when you're navigating, you're going to have to go through a lot more things. But I think ultimately this is a very good format. So next up, is going to be the solo, semi-solo squad challenges. I love this because it's very tough to get 3 people together anyway. It's really tough to, you used to, sometimes people would be trying to rank down for some stupid reason, and they'd be like just, giving up one play touchdowns. You might have a quarterback that's just not that great. It's still going to be tough to coordinate and get 3 friends together, but at least, you're not going to have to go up against 3 other players that may be really good. And, you have this guy that's a weak link. They have, the great thing about this is the same thing, you have settings, so you have easy, medium, and hard challenge for these MUT squad challenges that are against the computer. And I really like it. I will say I haven't tried it. I have some friends who have tried it, and I have some friends that do play squads, and I'm hoping to try it out. But I really do like this. Again, it's another thing that I think we're all used to at this point. Playing Halo or Call of Duty or whatever it might be offline, and really having that feel of the multiplayer campaign mode. So this is obviously a complete different genre. You're talking about a sport game compared to a shooter game, but it's got that same feel that I know for when my friends and I get together, or we're able to play online, we don't have to worry about going up against guys that are absolutely insane. We can coordinate with each other. We can play on easy if they're not that great. We can play on hard if I'm playing with people that are very used to the format, and it's just really going to give us the ability to really just compete, as well as to be able to have fun. So that's really all. That's it for the new game modes. There's not I wouldn't say there's not a ton that's new, because those are 2 huge game modes, and really again, the solo battles and everything around that is just a huge. It's huge to be able to have something that people offline can play, and also competitive. So it's not fun if the solos were the same solos that you played in campaign or whatever it might be, because those are just, you are going to beat those 100-0, and without the 1 play touchdowns. But it's just great to have something that's competitive, and again, to be able to play against the computer. If you want to grab 2 friends and play against the computer in squads, that's awesome too. So again, I want to tell you guys to definitely check us out next week. Next week, I'm going to be talking about gameplay and what that looks like in Madden 19 compared to other years, and what we're looking forward to in terms of if that's changing and updating. And then we'll do roster building and power-ups and training the following 2 weeks. Again, if you haven't subscribe for more, and watch the past videos as well. Or listen to past podcasts as well. We are available on YouTube as well. And please leave us a review and put 5 stars. So we'll see you guys next week for gameplay. and I'll talk to you then.